Hello and welcome to Money Matters. Today is International Women's Day. In the year-long pandemic, women entrepreneurs, together with everyone else, have struggled with reduced income, business closures, and COVID-19 quarantines. On top of that, it's the mothers who often manage their children's online schooling. Zella Chin reports that despite these difficulties, more women want to start new ventures.
On Monday, this young lady is on her way to work in Central. She is heading to an upper-floor shop on Wyndham Street. Wing Zhang is a beauty therapist.
If you feel so painful, just tell me, please.
Today, she's giving a hand massage to a new client.
I like this work because I don't like to sit in an office. It's too rigid. I like to talk to people and care about others. Face-to-face contact gives me immense satisfaction.
Beauty salons closed for about 5 months in the past year because of the government's COVID-19 restrictions. The latest shutdown lasted 10 weeks, and the parlors just reopened on February 18. Wing worries about getting laid off.
Ultimately, more than 2 months and not even one customer. The company's resources will have limitations one day. So I worry, will the company survive? Will the company fold? So I'm very worried about losing my job or cutting my pay.
Luckily, Wing's been paid her base salary of $12,000 a month during the closures. But she hasn't had any commission, which makes up about 20% of her monthly income. The beauty salon is part of a larger business which provides hairstyling and cutting services. Those weren't forced to stop during the pandemic.
Yes, so this is Rex and Chrissy over there.
Siobhan Guilfoyle, a former banker, bought the hair and beauty business in 2015. At the time, it was a 4-person team with under $2 million in turnover, and she expanded the business.
When did you move into this space? It's quite large, actually.
Yes, so we moved in 2019. The total square foot is 4,500 square feet. And the premises that we were in previously were just under 2,000.
So how big did your team grow to?
So our team went from being a team of 18 up to a team of 38. So yes, it was a very big jump, but it was great. We had the business to support it.
Another hairdressing team joined the company in 2019, and revenues grew by 33% year on year. The growth trajectory was cut short by the COVID-19 pandemic in 2020. At an estimated $16 million, revenues remained flat for the 2020-2021 financial year.
We've seen a downturn in the number of clients booking over the period, and particularly when we have times of restriction. When those restrictions are slowly taken away, it's like a signal to people that it's all right to come back. These images, we need to bring them up.
She saved money by stocking less hair and beauty products. The landlord dropped the rent by 20%, and she got government subsidies about $820,000. And even though the beauty side of the business was closed for much of the pandemic, the hairstylists made enough revenue to pay the salaries of all the employees.
Early on, we made the decision that we wanted to retain all of our staff. We want to be ready and be strong for when business returns to normal.
At the tail end of last year, one of Siobhan's worst fears was realized. She had a cluster of COVID-19 infections in the salon.
This happened in December, and it was 2 weeks before Christmas. So in the hairdressing world, it's the very, very, very busiest time of the year. And it's probably the worst time that you could possibly have to close and not work. So all of us went off to camps across Hong Kong. We were pretty much all there until the 26th or 27th of December.
After the quarantine, Siobhan had the salon deep cleaned, increased social distancing between customers by blocking off the middle seats, and added more disinfectant vaporizers. She gave hair appliances to good customers to thank them for their loyalty.
I would say 99% of our clients have acknowledged to us that it was a bad luck situation, it was unfortunate, but they understand that it's a virus and this happens, so it didn't dissuade them at all from coming back.
There's a lot more business there.
Over in Tin Hau, Liz Search, an entrepreneur, had to adapt her business to the pandemic. She runs an English language tutoring center in the neighborhood.
So, Liz, you've been here for about 13 years, right?
That's right, yeah.
Why did you choose this location?
Well, this location is just ideal for education. You know, it's a huge residential area. We've got schools next door and just up the road, so it's really very convenient for our students. Stella, come on, welcome into our school.
Thank you. It's quite quiet here. Normally, is it quite busy?
Yes, it is. It's unusually quiet at the moment, unfortunately. But when there are no restrictions in place and when children are able to be here, this place is buzzing with families, buzzing with parents and grandparents and aunties and uncles picking and dropping off children.
The center is registered with the Education Bureau.
What you're looking forward to most over the coming weekend?
When the Hong Kong school system switched to online classes in early 2020, Liz's English tutoring classes also changed to a virtual format. But not all her students joined the online courses.
If we have students taking a break and stopping, then that affects the income of the business. We still need teachers to teach our online classes. We still have all the expenses of any business, the rent, the salaries and whatnot. With greatly reduced income, that becomes very difficult.
So she expanded the British boarding school consultancy side of the business to bring in more revenues.
We've been getting a lot more interest in that. And we've had lots of success even this year with our students being accepted into some of the UK's top schools, which is great because then our reputation has grown as well and people are hearing more about that side of our business.
Overall, in 2020, revenues dropped by 35% year on year. Liz and her business partner critically assessed the business and reduced some of the fixed costs.
I had to let some administrative employees leave during the pandemic. And so, yes, we are now doing the admin side ourselves as well as running the classes.
What the boy has done that day changed the course of history.
Today, her 7-year-old daughter is in the office to help record a video of her reading a book for Liz's students.
Okay, all right.
As an entrepreneur with young children, Liz has had to balance the needs of her daughters while keeping her business afloat in a challenging time.
I have been through the mill, I think. How could it possibly work when I have got to be in my business because I'm a teacher myself? So I have to be here, I have to be present, I can't be at home helping my daughter to do her homeschooling. But I think over the year, I have reflected and managed to set quite strict timetables. So there are certain mornings where I don't teach. And so I allocate those times to being at home and being the parent and doing support for homeschooling at home. One of the problems entrepreneurs are facing is everybody's going online.
Liz Search is also the chairwoman for the Women Entrepreneurs Network, a community that supports members with their businesses. Many struggle with reduced revenues, and some now close businesses. With the pandemic still ongoing, the board organizes talks on mental health.
Because as an entrepreneur, you have to have the resilience to keep going. You have to have the mental strength to keep going. And this is at the front of everybody's minds at the moment.
Despite the difficulties, a recent survey found that 1 out of 3 Hong Kong women in the COVID-19 era want to start a new business. They prefer fashion, technology, and health and well-being sectors. And more women in Hong Kong want to start a new venture compared to Australia and the UK.
Toby Chan is the global head of the high net worth client business for HSBC's retail bank. She says there are a couple of reasons why Hong Kong women are interested in setting up a business.
The pandemic suggested new way of working. Where in the past, a lot of these interactions with customers and with their own staff would need to be face-to-face. Virtual connectivity make that a lot easier. So female founder would no longer require to be travel, for example, to meet the customer. Second, the pandemic also suggests other business opportunities, right? If you look at virtual and online shopping being a kind of rising space, and therefore, rather than having to invest very heavily to procure a female shop fund, now they can look at virtually. So I think startup cost is also lower.
And Wing, the beauty therapist, wants to start her own venture someday.
我自己咧就係、當然就係想一直做美甲
I
啦
want to
做美
continue
容
to
啦
paint nails, and I hope that one day I can have my own shop.
自己嘅鋪頭嘅，咁所以就如果
All along, I like to help people to become pretty.
中意幫人扮靚。
Coming up on Money Matters, we begin our look at properties in the Islands District. Stay with us. Welcome back to Money Matters. Islands District is Hong Kong's largest in terms of area and also the least populated. The islands are famous for a more relaxed lifestyle than other parts of Hong Kong, but there are a few urban spots to be found. In this episode, reporter Alice Khan checks out some flats in the new town of Tung Chung.
Lantau Island is the largest island in Hong Kong with a land area of 147 square kilometers, almost twice the size of Hong Kong Island. Development revved up after the new airport opened and Hong Kong Disneyland was launched. The Ngongping 360 cable car opened in 2006. Tung Chung means eastern stream. There have been people living in Tung Chung, fishing and farming for a living since the Song dynasty between 960 and 1279 AD. In the 1990s, Tung Chung was developed as a new town as part of the Airport Core program. Tung Chung is a modern suburban residential area, but its heritage can still be seen in old fishing villages and stilt houses along Tung Chung Bay. Hayes currently lives with his girlfriend in a small flat in Wan Chai. The relaxing living environment of the island life appeals to the Belgian expat.
In Wan Chai, it's a little bit hard, right? There's not a lot of space. There's so much open space here in Tung Chung. The streets are so big.
Another reason is the proximity to the airport.
I have to go back a few times a year to my country, to Belgium, so that will be useful, so I don't have to go far away.
Tung Chung is home to a high proportion of pilots and cabin crew, but the axing of Cathay Dragon in October last year forced many to leave. And the economic downturn also put downward pressure on property prices and rents. Leases for a private flat in Tung Chung dropped 6.8% to $27 per square foot over the past 12 months. Some declined almost 10% to $25 per square foot over this period. At the moment, you can live in Tung Chung for about a third less than in Kowloon and Hong Kong Island. Hayes pays $15,000 a month for a room. He can pay as high as $20,000 for a bigger space. So we're here to give him a hand hunting for value. First, we checked out a flat in this housing estate where rents have dropped by 6.9% on average. It has over 1,500 units. 15 flats are available to lease. This apartment is 573 square feet with 2 bedrooms. The landlord is asking for $18,000.
Because rental dropped a lot, it's very attractive to the outside people. So in this period, we got more talent from the outside district, like Kowloon, like Hong Kong.
The living room and the dining area are about 150 square feet. The area is square in shape. It has two large windows in the living room overlooking the sea and a reclamation site. The master bedroom has a panoramic sea view overlooking the airport and the Hong Kong-Zhuhai-Macau Bridge. The small bedroom can fit a double bed. It also has a sea view. The kitchen has a lot of storage. Also, many new buildings nowadays have a balcony, but the design of this building is different.
It doesn't have a balcony.
No, because in 2002, that time, developer doesn't really care about the balcony or not. They do have a bay window here, which is a very low level. You can sit on it.
Hayes came to look at the flat. He also liked the facilities provided.
I do private training, so in fact, I would use the gym probably a lot. So I'm looking into moving to somewhere that has a gym or a swimming pool.
The estate is quite far away from the Chungcheong MTR and other amenities like shopping malls. So we checked out another flat closer to the station and shopping areas. This estate consists of over 2,100 flats. 32 apartments are for rent at an average of $27 per square foot. This apartment is 772 square feet, 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms. The asking rent is $22,000. This building offers a swimming pool, gym, and sauna.
Before was about 24, and now it's 22. 22,000, we can only get a 2-bedroom in the downtown. But here we get a 720 square feet. So it's quite attractive, for the people who looking for a bigger place and a lower rent.
The previous tenant was a pilot. The landlord spent $300,000 to renovate the flat after the tenant moved out. The flat has a mountain view and is off the Ngongping cable cars. The living room is 200 square feet. It has high ceilings and the layout is square. The kitchen is also large. This ensuite master bedroom is 95 square feet and a double bed can easily fit in. The other 2 bedrooms are 50 to 60 square feet with storage.
It has window up there.
Yeah, because it's a kind of the old style, because they will put another window here. Because some people, if they open the window here, maybe too noisy. So that's why that one is for the fresh air and keep coming in.
Hayes had a look at the flat. After viewing both, which one does he prefer?
This apartment is, I would say it's much better than the other one that we just saw because it's more new, who is very convenient, but also the ceiling is very high here. For somebody who is almost 2 meters, it's much better, I would say. And they have 2 bathrooms, so not sharing a bathroom with your guests is very polite. I think an extra bedroom is handy.
Hayes thinks $22,000 for a 3-bedroom flat is reasonable, yet he will negotiate with the landlord for a discount. The government continues to develop the Chungcheong New Town. In February, the Development Bureau announced a rare decision to bring forward the sale of this site at Chungcheong East MTR station. It will provide 1,900 flats by 2025, but the Chungcheong East station won't open until 2029.
Those supporting facilities will not be ready on day one. So maybe after several years, after residents moving in, so those facilities will then be ready for the residents.
The new town extension will increase the number of flats to about 50,000. And 20,000 flats, half of them private units, will be built over the Suho Wan depot. The new housing stock is likely to impact prices and rents.
We believe the supply here is very sufficient, And there will be some pressures on the prices as well as the rental, which will remain on a very soft side.
But surveyors believe the area's land values will change as plans for the massive reclamation Lantau Tomorrow vision becomes clearer. Tengcheng is likely to remain the main hub of northern Lantau, perhaps connecting Qingyim, Chinmun, and Hong Kong Island if the trillion-dollar project goes forward.
He's back, creating his own dawn-like orange hue. Number 45 promised the GOP a new day. Its journey was not over, and hinted he could beat the Democrats for a third time if they united behind him and fired the GOP leadership. Supporters liked that. You're fired. Nearly as original as build the wall. Did Mexico pony up any money for that, by the way? The fact-checkers killed the buzz. They always do. Truth-seeking buzz killers. Unite? Sure. In 2016, he lost the popular vote, squeaking through to the White House on 78,000 votes, giving rats an earache. In 2018, he lost control of the House because voters wanted him to leave their health care alone after he threatened to end Obamacare. Not a healthy move. And in 2020, he lost the White House and the Senate because he wanted people to fight the pandemic, gargling Clorox. At this point, it's the Democrats who should cheer the loudest. Yes, please, follow 45. It will be bigly. Everybody is going to Mars these days. All the attention is enough to make the red planet blush. The Americans are back, creating yet more traffic on another world. Is Perseverance equipped with a horn? The Chinese sent a satellite, and even the Arab world has an orbiter circling above. Are they looking for oil or something? Hey, we heard Mars was a great weight loss plan. On Earth, if you weigh 100 kilos, you're only 38 kilos on Mars. You are no longer fat. You'll die in an airless wasteland, but you'll feel good about yourself. And hey, NASA showed landing on Mars can be fun. They hid a message in the parachute of the rover. A space vehicle planning big science. See?
That's our show for tonight. Thanks for watching. Next time on Money Matters, another episode on cryptocurrencies. Is it digital gold or fool's gold? See you then. Good night.